People tend to be their own greatest limiting factors. And that entails actually, that means that they have power in their life, right? When, when somebody has the power to create, they tend to have the power to destroy, right? So every human, you have an inherent power and potential about yourself. You have an ability to create, you have an ability to hypothesize, you have an ability to move forward. Again, people tend to be their own greatest limiting factors, and this boils down to a great quote by Michael Singer, which is, "You will never be free of problems until you are free from the part within that has so many problems." Okay? So we are our greatest limiting factor just as much as we are actually the perfect thing that we need, the ideal thing that we need to move forward. So we all have this power. It's just many people are finding themselves sort of, going in reverse, and they want to get themselves into drive. What we're going to be talking about today in this video is one's ability to pivot so that when things aren't working how they want in one area of their life or regarding one goal, they are able to pivot, change their trajectory, and potentially move forward. So the first thing that comes along with pivoting is you, first of all, knowing where you are, knowing what you have to work with, right? Your life, relationships, etc. Knowing where you want to go, and then hypothesizing about what the next step is in order for you to get there, okay? And a great analogy for this is when a rocket goes up into space, and let's say we were trying to fly somebody to the moon. The rocket doesn't actually just get launched up and go straight directly to the moon, like no issues, right? That's not how it works. It goes up, it figures out where it's at, it knows where it wants to go, so it knows where the moon is, and then it course corrects, right? So it was actually initially off course, right? The rocket didn't say to itself, "Oh, I'm off course, I'm screwed." No. Every successful person who created something amazing, they went up, they took an action towards where they wanted to go, they saw where they're at again, they looked at where they wanted to go, they course corrected, and they moved forward. And they did that literally thousands upon thousands upon thousands of times. So when it comes to your inherent power, your ability to create, right? This is potential that you have. You can either be in your head thinking things that move you backwards or that make you not even take off, right, in your shuttle. Or you can be thinking things that move you forward and that make you feel like it's possible and that bring you at least one step closer towards potentially making the right decision and the right action to move forward. So when it comes to one's goals, moving forward is top of mind, right? Moving towards the goal, and being able to pivot is top of mind because you move forward, you pivot, and then you course correct, you move on, and you do that over and over and over again, okay? The thing is that most people don't know how to pivot, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. And when you know how to pivot in this way that I'm talking about, you will no longer be holding yourself back. So let's use a car analogy for this, where we've got an automatic transmission and we've got the stick. You drive an automatic car, you know that you have drive, you're moving forward, you have neutral, you're not going anywhere, and then you have reverse. And the thing is so many people take off in their rockets and something doesn't go right. They failed, which is totally okay and 100% normal, right? So they try to create a result. They didn't create the result that they want, or the result didn't come fast enough, and they got in their heads and they gave themselves reasons as to why this will not work out, as to why they are not capable of doing this thing. I've seen this time and time again. It's literally all happening in their heads, okay? So they're finding themselves, again, they've got their car, they're in reverse, right? They are experiencing failure, and that failure is weighing on them, or they're experiencing procrastination and self-doubt, and that is weighing on them. They're in reverse. And the thing is, they're trying to drive, they're trying to just shove that throttle right into drive, right? Things aren't going how they want, and then they're just, what do I need to do in order to move forward? And that can be, they might be frantic about it. When you learn how to pivot, this becomes a lot easier, okay? Pivoting is when you're going in reverse, things aren't going how you want. You're experiencing thoughts and emotions that you don't necessarily want to experience, / you know that they aren't beneficial to you, right? Maybe you're super angry at something and you know that that's not going to move the needle forward. It doesn't feel good to experience that for hours, days, weeks on end. Maybe you failed and it is somebody judged you about it. That could weigh on somebody for years, and it does. They're going in reverse. They need to learn how to pivot. And pivoting comes down to, again, not being in reverse and things going wrong and then you jamming it into drive so that you can move in the right direction. That is not how it works. In order for you to successfully pivot in your life, I want you to first move into neutral, right? People would say, well, that's silly. Like, why would I move into neutral? I'm trying to move forward. That's not going to help. It's not going to, it doesn't benefit me, right? The thing is that it's typically, first of all, frustrating to go from reverse into drive when things are going wrong. You want to just flip a switch and just go straight forward and make things work. That's frustrating in itself, which just causes you to continue to go in reverse, right? Compared to this analogy, from reverse to neutral to drive, and I say get into neutral in order to pivot. What does that mean? It means that, first of all, you are always thinking things, right? So you're a human being, you're thinking things, you have judgments about yourself, about your capabilities, about what's possible for you, about what you should do next, about what other people are thinking, about if you have the resources or if you have the resourcefulness for certain things, okay? We all have these thoughts. And if we get caught up in those thoughts and those emotions, if they're limiting us, right, then we are, at that point, a limiting factor for ourselves, okay? So we're in reverse. And we want to move into drive. We want to be able to have some more peace. We want to, again, just have this knowing that we can move forward. We can see where we're at. We can see where we want to go. We can analyze with peace, without judgment on ourselves and the results that we just created. We can hypothesize again, and then we can move forward. What we want to be able to do is when we find ourselves in reverse, and everybody finds themselves in reverse. Everybody has that negative thought, that negative perspective, that those negative emotions that run through them that could potentially really hold them back. I want to give you an example of this. When I started shooting videos again, I remember I was at my friend's beach house in Delaware, and I was walking to the back, and I had my phone, I had my phone holder, the selfie stick, and I started to second guess my ability to shoot this video, to shoot the video that I was going to shoot. And I started thinking these things, and people can so easily get held back by this. I was experiencing these thoughts. I was judging myself. I was thinking that it wasn't going to be able to happen. I hadn't shot a video in many months. And I was like, I'm going to be rusty. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I only have a certain amount of time. I started thinking these things, right? These emotions start coming through. So here's what we're talking about when it comes to pivoting. This is just one example, and you can do this in every single area of your life, from your relationships to spending decisions to addictions, habits, to you going to the gym or not, to you saying something that you need to say or not, having a difficult conversation, whatever. When I was walking out and I was experiencing those thoughts and those emotions, I know it is very easy for me to hold myself back in that moment and just say, you know what, maybe it's not the right time. Maybe there's no point to doing this. Maybe I should just enjoy being with my family at the beach house and not worry about the videos, etc. Literally endless possibilities of where this could have headed. So what I wanted to do is I was aware. I want you to know that you can become aware of these thoughts, right? Everything that's happening within your mind, all of these emotions. I was aware that I was in reverse. And I wanted to move into drive. I wanted to move to shoot that video, okay? I was going up in my shuttle. I was experiencing all of this turbulence. I knew where I wanted to go, though. And that is what is most important to me. I knew I wanted to shoot that video. So I found myself in reverse, and right then I moved myself into neutral. I didn't try to just power through it and work through, like just shoot the video with all of that happening within me, okay? I moved myself into neutral and I became still. And I became aware of what was arising within my mind, of what I was thinking about, of these judgments I had, of these predictions that I had of it not working out, of the imaginations I had of how the video would turn out, and of the desires of me wanting to just go back inside and spend time with my family, right? I noticed all of it. And I just moved myself into neutral. And from there, I was able to rise above all of the mental noise that could have held me back. I was able to get a bird's eye view, and I was able to change my perspective. And I was able to just be still. And when you can do that, when you can bring about that stillness on command, when you can just realize what's arising within your mind, within your body, all of these emotions, and just let them be, right? And just truly let them arise, let them fall, and to just relax in that way, that is when you can move forward in a different way. You're not trying to power through it. You're going from reverse to neutral, then to drive. Okay? Again, this comes down to relationships. If you are in an argument with somebody and you don't want to worsen it, that means that you need to be able to stop yourself from saying things that you should not be saying, right? Or maybe you should be able to stop yourself and see things from their perspective, right? Being able to move from reverse, where you're heated, you're mad, you're angry at that person, to neutral, so that you can assess the situation, so that you can see things from a different perspective, so you can see things from a bird's eye view, so that you can analyze what's actually going on here and not just be completely identified with these thoughts and these emotions. That is the key to launching your rocket, creating a result. And typically, if you stop yourself there, or if things start to get really hard for you and you can't stand it, you put yourself into neutral, okay? You hypothesize about what you need to do next, given the feedback that you just got from that result, and you move forward. And again, I just want to reiterate that every single successful person in any area, they never got it perfect the first time. There was always problems. There were always, even sometimes, limiting beliefs. There are always sometimes doubts and fears. The thing is that they found themselves in reverse. They were able to get themselves into neutral. They were able to get themselves into drive. They didn't have to force anything. They didn't have to do anything crazy. Being able to bring that presence into your life is the key to pivoting and to you creating the results that you want. So I hope that you see that you are a human being with power and potential. It's just that as humans, we have the power and we have the potential to move both ways. Reverse, complete stagnation, which never feels good, or drive. If you're moving in reverse, you have the power to move forward. Pivot, put yourself into neutral, readjust, understand that you're human, you're allowed to make mistakes. It doesn't say anything about you. It says something about the result that was created. Therefore, you can take that feedback, can use it to take a different action with a different hypothesis, and then see the results of that. You're sort of failing forward, right? It doesn't say anything about you. In fact, if you're able to fail forward, you are courageous. You are somebody who can literally do whatever they want to do with their life. So I want you to think about that. If you have any questions, comment below. Be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it made sense. I'll clear up anything in the comments if you want. I'll see you in the next video.